It was just another day, finishing up my last alpaca to sell. Making them was so much fun. Keeps me at ease. A little off topic here, I'm a huge fan of the YouTuber Rezbowski. He's quite the inspiration to me, and we had become friends. My biggest goal is to do a collaboration with him, and for him to say alpaca. I think of tricks every day to have him say it. Guess I'm strange like that. I was a little saddened when all the socks that I've used to make the alpacas were all gone. I shrugged my shoulders and watched Raz's newest video, looking as charming as ever. The next day, I woke up and headed downstairs to make coffee. A shopping bag was on the kitchen counter. I looked inside and there was a pair of dark brown socks. Now, they were a nice length, but the texture was odd. They're still socks. So I made the alpaca's body. It was that time again for Raz's newest video, but this time he was wearing a beanie. Now, I've seen him in his hats before, but never in a video. I thought it looked cute on him. Maybe he was just looking for a new style. So after the video, I went to have a little chat with him. Hey, I just wanted to say that the beanie look was quite adorable on you.
Oh, thanks. I wasn't doing it for looks.
What do you mean by that?
You see, my hair, my scalp, gone.
What?
I woke up like that this morning in my head. It's not just bald, but like bits of scalp missing. I mean, I kinda wish it was for charity, but I feel like someone shaved my head while I was asleep.
Maybe you should tell the police.
I mean, I can't. I have nothing to prove it.
It's strange. The one thought that lingered through my mind was why or who would scalp Raz's head. Maybe it's a sick joke since he's somewhat fussy with his hair. I think he'll look handsome, even if he is bald. I'm a bit saddened that I haven't heard him say alpaca quite yet. I mean, speaking of which, I couldn't continue the brown one. Morning had come, and yet that same shopping bag was on the kitchen counter. I looked inside to see by any strange chance there was something else, and by my surprise there was. Off-white buttons, hard as bone. It looked like some red paint may have splashed on them. I sewed them to the alpaca. Still needed a bit more work. If I thought Raz's beanie took me off guard, today's appearance was a little bit more odd. He had 2 pieces of blood-filled gauze in his mouth. I assumed he went to the dentist to get some work done. I went to chat with him about his dentist trip. I saw that you went through the dentist today.
For once, I wish I did. 2 of my teeth are gone.
I had no idea what happened. What do you mean?
I woke up with my mouth filled with blood. I hope I didn't swallow them.
Me too. Still have a fantastic smile, even with 2 missing teeth.
Aw, thank you.
No problem. And yet he still hadn't said alpaca yet. Morning had come yet again, and that shopping bag was on the kitchen counter. This time, there was pink felt. I used them to make the alpaca's ears, along with what was left over of the socks. The alpaca still needed a few touches, but all the major sewing was complete. After Raz's last 2 videos, I wouldn't be surprised if he was wearing pop bottle glasses or broke his nose, or lost his hearing. But my surprise, it was none of those. It was something way worse. His left arm was completely bandaged up, soaking with blood. When I said completely, I meant from his fingertips to his shoulder blade. I decided not to have a chat with him that day. Pretty sure he doesn't want to be reminded of all the bad luck and pain that he's going through right now. But I must say, I still kind of wanted to get him to say alpaca. When I woke up in the morning, I didn't even want to look at the kitchen counter because when I was lying in bed the past night, it seemed there was a bizarre connection with the material for the alpaca and Raz's misfortune. But I couldn't just stay in bed for the rest of my life. What kind of life would that be? I bravely came downstairs, and yet that shopping bag was on the kitchen counter. In the bag this time was embroidery floss, but one unlike any I've seen before. Most of them were just one solid color. This one, however, was red, blue, and purple. I made the nose and mouth of the alpaca. I must admit, it did look pretty neat. I went on my computer, praying that nothing was wrong with Raz, and as soon as his video begun, my concern turned to fear in a snap. His right arm was completely gone. He explained that his arm had to come off due to a sudden absence of circulation. Not only that, he also looked very, very ill. The pigment of his face was almost white. His green eyes were starting to turn pink, and even the veins of his neck were poking out. It was even heartbreaking to hear him speak. His signature, "Hey, hey, hey," wasn't as happy and energetic as usual. It sounded raspy and depressing. You know for sure that he was forcing his smile, and his eyes watered, and his breath wheezes. Guilt started to fill within me. I couldn't help but feel responsible. Every time I've worked with that one alpaca, almost as if it was me making his voodoo doll, which I would never do. But if I did, I would probably make it say alpaca. The next morning has arrived. The first concern wasn't about that alpaca, it was about Roz. I went on my phone to check Twitter to see if he was alright. My heart dropped at some of the tweets I've read. Some were the usual, like, "We love you, Roz." But there were other ones I read like, "We'll miss you, Roz. You'll forever be in our hearts, Roz. Roz, forever a beautiful bastard." What was even more chilling was that I got some direct messages and tweets reading, "I'm so sorry." I had to see what the hell was going on, so I went on his Twitter page, and the last thing he posted was a link to his latest video. The thumbnail wasn't fun like all of his others. It was just a picture of him in a hospital bed, with an oxygen mask and a tube down his throat. What was even more sad was the title of the video, "Goodbye." I didn't want to watch it, but I had to, so I clicked it. The video started just like the thumbnail. He preached his most emotional speech. "Hey, hey, hey, Rosbowski here. As you can tell from these past few days, I'm not doing well health-wise. Lost a full intestine. I have no idea why so sudden, and neither do the doctors. They told me that I don't have long to live. Probably be my last video ever. Thank you all for the love and support that you've given me throughout the years. You are the beautiful bastards for watching. I love each and every one of you. And for a special friend of mine, Alpaca." As the video fades out, his eyes close slowly, and the last thing to hear was the long, last beep from the machine. I couldn't believe it. Raz was gone. I sobbed as I hugged my phone. I glanced at the alpaca, but this time the bag was next to it. Honestly, the last thing the alpaca needed was ribbon for its neck, and that must be what's in the bag. I looked inside. I wanted to pass out. It wasn't a ribbon. It was intestine. "No!" I shouted with a sob. "No, no, no!" With no desire, I tied the intestines around the alpaca's neck and made a bow. It was finally done. I wasn't proud, though. It reminded me too much of the pain of Roz leaving this world. I slowly turned around to make myself some breakfast, and then I heard a voice that said, "I'm not gone, you know." It sounded a lot like Roz's voice. I turned to the voice, and all I saw was the alpaca, thinking that I was just hearing things. So I was about to walk away, and then it spoke again. I said, "Alpaca, did I not?" A sudden halt came throughout my body. I stood so very still. "Roz," I mumbled, "did I do what I think I've done?" I turned to look at the alpaca with my eyes just filled with tears. The alpaca stayed silent. "And now you're haunting me by possessing the..." I asked nervously. The alpaca spoke. "It'll be strange to possess my own body, or at least part of it." A tension of guilt and grief filled my whole body. I fell to my knees sobbing. "I'm so sorry, Roz. I'm really sorry. I didn't want this to happen to you." The alpaca stood still. I know. Then, in an instant, things were normal. I was confused. To check things, I went onto YouTube to see Roz's channel. Those videos from the past 5 days were gone. And he had a new video, looking well and healthy, acting all energetic. He was playing a new game. At the end of the video, he mentioned that he's planning to give blood. I was shocked, and then laughed it off, just so relieved that he's alive. I walked over to the kitchen to prepare myself some breakfast, and when I got... there was a cardboard box just sitting on the table where I eat. I opened it to see what was inside and got chills, because that exact alpaca sat at the bottom of the box, soaked in blood.